It's gonna be some stuff you're gonna see that's gonna make it hard to smile in the future. But through whatever you see, through all the rain and the pain, you gotta keep your sense of humor. You gotta be able to smile through all this.
Go ahead and envy me.
Just keep your head up.
How can I keep my head up? I'm so fed up. My people suffer for years, but we ain't give up. This ain't the land of the free. What is this country doing? They got us fighting at war until our country's ruined. And now our country's ruined, but don't nobody care. You see somebody down and out, then you just stop and stare. What do you really fear? Being a nice person? Niggas hate us round this bitch, that's for damn certain. Nobody ever said you soft cause you helping people. You got a little bit of money, now we ain't equal, but yet we real equal, at least in my eyes. It's a shocker to you, but me it's no surprise. And as the world turns, it's gonna get strange. You gon' see some differences, a whole lot of change. The day's getting shorter, the night's getting longer. Your head stuck in the clouds, so go ahead and ponder. Thank you, you really better think. Your whole life could change in the second of a blink. I think you need to think, you really ought to think. Your whole world could change in the second of a blink. What if it happened to you? Thank you, you really better think. Your whole life could change in the second of a blink. I think you need to think, you really ought to think. Your whole world could change in the second of a blink. I think it's real sad, wish you got me mad. Leaving behind people that lost what they had. Kids with no parents, parents without kids. Natural disasters, the aftermath show how they live. They homes torn apart and ain't got nowhere to go. No home insurance, so they ain't got nothing to show. A low blow, what is this country good for? Helping out other countries that don't want it, Joe. When we can't even help ourselves, it's a damn shame. United we stand, but it's the president I blame. How would he feel if he woke up with no home? His city was flooded and everything he had was gone. Well, think about the people that live out in 9th Ward. Your planes flying by to get a story to record. And I ain't trying to make this a black and a white issue. It's a touchy subject, so it ain't a nice issue. Deceased. Thank you. Really better think. Your whole life could change in the second of a blink. I think you need to think, you really ought to think. Your whole world could change in the second of a blink. What if it happened to you? Think, you really better think. Your whole life could change in the second of a blink. I think you need to think, you really ought to think. Your whole world could change in the second of a blink. Go ahead and envy me. New York, Manhattan, I love that city, but everything in New York ain't always pretty. Manhattan, man, what happened? How could you kill thousands of lives without weapons? I'ma state the facts, our own country did it, but they won't admit it. How can a building fall down from a plane crash? An hour later, damn Bush, that was too fast. Controlled ammunition, yeah, you set them bombs and treated people in the building like a chess pawn. Made your move, then you set them all up for kill. RP to those lives, but I'm being real. Then you send us to Iraq like we got beef, when we should fight against your ass cause you ain't show no grief. If I should die for my thoughts that I speak upon, remember everything I said in this thank song. Thank you. Really better think. Your whole life could change in the second of a blink. I think you need to think, you really ought to think. Your whole world could change in the second of a blink. What if it happened to you? Think, you really better think. Your whole life could change in the second of a blink. I think you need to think, you really ought to think. Your whole world could change in the second of a blink.